Today, we're diving deep into the ideas of Naval Ravikant, who is, one of the most respected thinkers in Silicon Valley. This isn't just some get-rich-quick scheme. It's a full-on framework he built over decades for building wealth, sure, but more importantly, for living a happy and free life. So, let's get into his principles.
Right off the bat, he hits us with this powerful question: how do you get rich without getting lucky? This is huge because it completely reframes the problem. It suggests that wealth isn't some lottery ticket, It's not a roll of the dice. It's the result of a process. The whole goal is to find a reliable method. Think about it. In 1,000 parallel universes, you want a system that makes you wealthy in 999 of them, not just the one where you randomly trip over a bag of money. It's all about engineering your path, not just hoping for the best.
Okay, so the very first step is to get our definition straight. What is wealth? Well, according to Naval, it's not money and it's definitely not a high salary. A salary is just you trading your time for money. The second you stop working, the money stops coming. Wealth? Wealth is different. It's the factory of robots that works for you 24/7. It's the computer program that's running all night, the rental properties generating income, the investments that are compounding on their own. It's owning systems that work for you, completely decoupling your time from your earnings. That, right there, that is the freedom we're actually aiming for.
All right, so how do we get there? We're going to follow Naval's 5-step roadmap. First, we'll redefine what wealth really is. Then, we'll look at the tools you need to build it. After that, we'll explore how to multiply your efforts with leverage, get into the right mindset by playing the long game, and finally, uncover what the real prize is at the end of all this.
Okay, first up, redefining wealth. Before we can even start playing the game, we got to make sure we're playing on the right field, because honestly, most people are chasing the wrong ball entirely. And this slide right here highlights a critical distinction that Naval makes. There are two games people play in life: the wealth game and the status game. The wealth game is positive sum. If I build a great business, it doesn't stop you from building one. We can both win. We can both have a nice house. But the status game, that's a zero-sum game. For me to be number one, somebody else has to be number two. It's a trap, really. It forces you to tear other people down just to climb a ladder, instead of just building your own thing. And that's the beauty of playing the wealth game the right way. It's not about taking a bigger slice of a fixed pie. It's about baking a bigger pie for everybody. When you create something that people voluntarily pay for, a product, a service, a piece of art, you've added real net value to the world. And that's the engine of progress, the engine of abundance that keeps everything moving forward.
So if we're playing the wealth game, what do we actually need in our tool belt? Let's break down the essential toolkit for creation.
Naval lays out these 4 core pillars: specific knowledge, accountability, leverage, and judgment. Think of them like ingredients in a recipe. You have to combine them in your own unique way to create wealth. We're going to zoom in on 2 of the most fundamental ones: specific knowledge and leverage.
Now this is probably the most important and misunderstood concept of them all. Specific knowledge isn't what you learn in a classroom. It's not something you can get a certificate for, because if there's a training course for it, then society can train someone else to do it and, well, replace you. No, this is a unique, almost instinctual skill set that you build from a combination of your own natural talents, your genuine passions, and your real-world experience. It's personal, it's creative, and it can't be easily automated or outsourced.
So how do you find yours? Well, you don't really reason your way to it. You discover it by just observing yourself. What topics do you find yourself reading about for fun? What skills are you working on not because you have to, but because you just love doing it? That's it. That's your specific knowledge. It's what feels like play to you, but looks like hard work to everybody else. It's the intersection of your unique talents where you can become the best in the world simply because no one else can compete with you at being you.
Okay, so once you have your specific knowledge, your secret sauce, you need to amplify it. You need to scale it. And that amplifier is leverage. This is how you multiply your impact way beyond what a single person can do on their own.
This table gives us a fantastic breakdown of how leverage has evolved over time. The oldest form is labor, just having people work for you. Then came capital, using money to make more money. But here's the catch with both of those: they require permission from other people. You need someone to give you the job or give you the money. But the modern era, our era, is defined by this third category: code and media. And the magic word here is permissionless. You don't need anyone's approval to write some software or start a podcast. And their ability to scale, it's almost infinite.
The robot revolution is already here. It just doesn't look like we thought it would. They're all packed into data centers, running the code that powers our world. Every great software developer has a literal army of robots working for them while they sleep. Every creator with a YouTube channel or a blog has a media machine that can reach millions of people at basically zero extra cost. This is where the new fortunes are being made, and the crazy part is, it's accessible to anyone with a laptop.
So you've got the tools, and you've got the leverage. But now you need the right mindset. And that mindset is all about thinking long-term.
This quote just nails the difference in mindset, doesn't it? When you're playing for the long haul, you build trust, you cooperate, you focus on creating value together, knowing that the rewards are going to compound for everyone involved. Short-term games, on the other hand, are just about grabbing what you can right now, often at someone else's expense. They're transactional, not relational, and they almost never lead to real, lasting success.
And here we see the universal power of compounding. We all get it with money, right? Interest earns interest, and it grows exponentially. But the same principle applies literally everywhere in life. A relationship built on trust over 20 years is priceless. Knowledge builds on itself, letting you learn more and more complex ideas. Your reputation, your skills, your health, they all compound. The biggest rewards in life are always reserved for those who are willing to play the long game.
We've covered the mechanics of wealth creation. We've talked about the how. But this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important section. What is this all for?
And this is the pivot. This is the big twist. Money will solve your money problems. That's it. One of the first things people realize after they make a lot of money is that they're still the same person. If you were unhappy before, you're probably still unhappy. If you were an anxious person, you're still an anxious person. So if wealth isn't the final destination, then what is?
And that brings us to this incredible insight from Naval, the 3 pillars of happiness that money absolutely cannot buy. You can have all the wealth in the world, but you can't pay someone to go to the gym for you. You can't buy a calm, peaceful mind. You can't purchase deep, loving, meaningful relationships. These things have to be earned through your own effort. They're separate games that you have to play and win for yourself.
And that just reframes the entire journey, doesn't it? We're not building wealth for its own sake. We're building it for what it enables. It's an incredibly powerful tool that can clear away all those money-related anxieties and logistical problems, freeing up your time and energy to focus on earning those things that truly matter.
This is the end goal. This is the ultimate prize that wealth can help you get. Freedom. Real freedom. And it's not about being retired on a beach somewhere doing nothing. It's about having complete and total control over your own time and your own energy. It's about spending your life solving the problems that you find fascinating with the people you respect on the schedule that you yourself dictate. And so, this is where we end. Life, at its core, is a single-player game. You're born alone and you die alone. The principles we've talked about today are a framework for winning the multiplayer game of wealth so that you can have the freedom to win the single-player game of happiness. So the question to leave you with is, what long-term positive-sum game will you choose to play with your one precious life?